Hey there, if you haven't been here before, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and I am an alternate day faster. I have been alternate day fasting since February 17th of 2020 and today is, what is today? Today is June 27th, so 10 days ago I hit my 4 months of alternate day fasting. Today is day 131. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So I started my alternate day fasting journey at what I would say is around 178 pounds. I may have been around 175. It was somewhere in there. I wasn't weighing super consistently at the beginning because I just, didn't want to know. And I was at a weight that I was very unhappy with. And this morning I weighed 145.2 pounds with my GoPro. So over 4 months, I have lost 30 pounds alternate day fasting. So it's pretty amazing. I hope you guys can see a huge difference. I wish I had actual footage of my body before, but I think I didn't really want to see it. And I think that these are enough still to give you guys a good idea of how much weight I have lost. Yeah, I'm about 5 pounds lower, 5 or more pounds lower than I have ever been. And I've noticed a huge difference, not only in my waist, but my legs are feeling a lot slimmer these days. So just a little bit of background for me on my weight loss journey. So I have been overweight my whole life. I just was overweight as a kid, and that, got into adulthood. I hit my heaviest weight when I was a freshman in college, and I was 217 pounds. I told myself, and I'm 5'4", by the way, I told myself that I would never reach that point, that I would never see a 2. And it was that summer after my freshman year that I decided that I was going to change my life. So I started calorie restricting, and I was eating 1,200 calories a day roughly. And I was working out all of the time. And I kept up with that for a good long while. I would say it was about 6 months that I was doing that. And I lost 60 pounds. So I lost 10 pounds a month, which sounds pretty good. And I fell off the wagon, which happens to so many of you. And I basically yo-yoed for the next 6 or 7 years. But basically, I have gone through all sorts of things. I pretty much learned that calorie restriction wasn't for me after the first time and didn't really work for me later on. Keto, I tried keto for a long time. I did keto for 6 months. And then I discovered intermittent fasting, and I've been doing some form of that for the last 2 years, except last year I kind of fell off the wagon and a lot of bad things happened, and I definitely wasn't as great about it, which is why I put on so much weight. So when I did keto, I got down to about 150 pounds. And then when I started doing fasting, I got down to about 155 pounds, and I was able to maintain that by just doing my 16/8 kind of fast. But the thing is, I felt like that wasn't gonna work because I had been doing that for 2 years and I never got to a place that I was actually happy with. And I'm getting married this summer, and so I sort of had this idea in my mind that I wanted to put my best effort forward to be able to look my best on my wedding day. I mean, if I can't lose the weight for something as important as that, then I feel like I'm never gonna lose it. So I came across a vlogger named Rachel Sharp on YouTube, and she reintroduced me, I should say, back to alternate day fasting. The first time I saw videos on alternate day fasting, I never considered really doing it. But when I saw her results, and we're really similar, I think we're both the same height and we're similar in age, and I saw how it worked for her, and I thought it was amazing. So I decided that I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna commit to it, and about 3 weeks in, I decided that I was gonna start documenting my journey, and I've been sharing it with you guys ever since, and hopefully I've been improving as time goes on, and hopefully I am helping and inspiring you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, and I wanna talk about this very early on in my video. Alternate day fasting, for those of you who have never fasted or not used to intermittent fasting, it's going to be difficult for you. I don't want you to have unrealistic expectations as to, how you're going to be able to be successful. I think that every single one of you can be successful with alternate day fasting. Fasting is a muscle, and it takes time to build it, and it is something that you just have to practice at, and you have to keep at it consistently. And one of the things I think is great about alternate day fasting is that I don't think you have to fast every other day. I think if you took the attitude of, I want to do alternate day fasting, but I've never fasted before, so I'm going to alternate day fast, but my fast days are going to be what makes sense for me. So if I've never fasted before, then I'm probably going to try a 16-hour fast. And I'm going to just eat in an 8-hour window on my fast day. And I think if you start from there and then slowly close your eating window over time, maybe about a month or so, I think you could get to the point where you can alternate day fast with either no calories, or you could do something like a fat fast, or you could just modify your fast up to 500 calories. Personally, for me, I don't like to do the modified fast with regular food so much. It's just that once I start eating, I usually don't want to stop, and I don't think that it would be that bad for me now, but it's just not something that I like to do. I really enjoy having my coffee with heavy whipping cream in it, and that's how I'm going to modify my fast. One of the things that's really surprised me about alternative fasting is just how effortless it's become for me almost. Every fast day is different, and some of them are worse than others, but for the most part, I don't, dread them. I look forward to them. I enjoy every single day, whether it's a fast day or an eat day. And honestly, my fast days, I'm pretty grateful for them. They give me time back. And when I go back and I think about going back to eating every day, I just think about how much time I spend on my eat days prepping food. And it's like, that's so much time that is lost on that day of eating. Do I really want that every single day? This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. And I know I have said before that I would never alternate day fast forever. I don't think that I would alternate day fast forever as far as full day fasts, but I really like the consistency of alternate day fasting, that every other day you're building that muscle, whether it's a 16-hour fast or a 20-hour fast or, a 24-hour fast, or if you do make it to that 36 hours or, 34 hours or whatever to the next day. That is progress, and that is still going to benefit your body, and I like that over having to intermittent fast every single day. For some reason, there's just something better about it. I think it's having that day to just eat and to not worry and to not stress and to not feel guilty and to eat whatever I want, because I know that I can eat donuts and I'm still gonna lose weight. I can eat all kinds of foods. I'm trying not to say good and bad because I am trying to get away from that. Number one, I've learned that alternate day fasting is not as hard as you think it is. I wish I had known how much easier it would get and how beneficial the results would be and how much I would love it, because I would have started it so much sooner. I wish I had started this like 2 years ago. I 100% know that I am going to get there and that I'm going to get to what I'm looking for, which is to not have so much extra fat in my body and to have a good relationship with food and to be able to just enjoy my life more. Number two, I've learned that alternate day fasting is not about restriction. I think because of the fact that you're eating every other day, it can sound restrictive. And I think it becomes especially restrictive when you decide to add eating windows, when you force yourself on your eat day to eat in an 8-hour window. If you want to do that, that's fine, and you're probably still going to receive results. But I feel like there's still something not great about that. I mean, my friend Kimberly posted this photo in a fasting group that I'm in, and I was so appreciative of it. It was saying, instead of focusing on what you want your body to look like, focus on what you want your life to look like. Do you really want to have to worry about hours and, I got to make it to the 16-hour fast? To me, the answer is no. I want fasting to simplify my life. This is about making a big change, not obsessing so much about food and letting food control me. And I think if I had realized at the beginning how much of a mental shift that I needed, it just would have been a little bit easier on me to start with, because I was just so much more strict on myself at the beginning. I mean, I've always been a proponent of eat what you want and don't count calories, but at the beginning I don't think I was so, I think I had the guilt basically. I think I let myself eat, but I always did try not to eat too much. And I think all of the mental things that I have learned with alternate day fasting is just giving me more confidence in myself and knowing that I'm doing what's right for my body and knowing that I am going to get there and that I don't need to worry so much and I should just do me and be happy and enjoy my life. And that's what alternate day fasting is giving to me. I think one of the most important things for me has been to know that fasting works and to trust the process. If you guys haven't seen a lot of my earlier vlogs, I would highly recommend you take a look at my spreadsheet. I've linked that down below, and it has all of my weights from starting in March, I think. And if you go back and look, there's 4 weeks where I did not lose any weight. I hovered back and forth between the same half a pound, and that was my weekly average weights for 4 weeks that were basically the same. So I think just knowing that fasting works, and when you hit those plateaus, maybe reevaluate, am I drinking enough water? Am I, maybe getting outside? Am I eating enough on my eat days? You might want to readjust some things, but know that alternate day fasting is very good for you. Unless you're underweight and you're not eating enough on your eat days, if you're overweight, alternate day fasting is going to be a great thing for you. It is going to increase your insulin sensitivity, and it's just going to help you rebalance your hormones and to relearn your body, because I think that when we start putting all this weight on, I think we kind of lose touch with our body a little bit. And I know that I feel my body so much more, and I can feel when I'm hungry, and I just know. And I didn't have that relationship, that connection with my body before, and that's, something that alternate day fasting has given me. Your body does not want to be fat. That is, I think, a hard thing for those of us who've been overweight our whole lives to accept. We feel like being overweight is a part of who we are, and it's just how things have to be. But what I've learned is that your body doesn't want to be overweight. It is not advantageous for you to be overweight. If you look at our history, where we came from, before we had McDonald's and all this, back when we were hunters and gatherers, it is not advantageous for you to be carrying on an extra 50 pounds, when you might have a tiger running after you, or I don't know, a bear, or whatever it is, a coyote. It's not advantageous. And if you can create an environment where your body can, number one, be nourished and get the nourishment that it needs, and number two, give it the time that it needs to heal and to rest from digestion and food, that is the killer combination. And that is what alternate day fasting is. It's every other day, feeding your body, nourishing your body, eating to satiety, listening to your body, and then the next day giving your body a chance to rest, to digest that food, to use some fat. It's awesome, and it is what works. And I think accepting that you don't have to restrict and that you don't have to suffer in order to be able to reach your goals. I think that is something that is hard for people and hard for me to get past my head. But we can do this, and it doesn't have to be this awful struggle. I just want to talk about 3 of the different hormones that are really important to learn about and to know about. I mean, you don't have to, but I think it's really interesting, and I think it's cool to know that it helps you know that what you're doing is actually really good for you. So number one, insulin is the fat storage hormone. It is the hormone that gets released anytime you eat food, and it helps to control your blood sugar. It has a multitude of responsibilities, but when you have high levels of insulin, you are going to be storing fat. So when you eat, insulin is produced by your body and tells your body to start storing fat. When insulin is present, it literally blocks the fat cells. So it kind of like locks them up so your body can't use them. So when insulin is present, your body has to use the energy coming in from the food and not from your body. So when you're eating all the time, you're constantly having high levels of insulin, which means your body is not able to use your fat. And over time, your body becomes, number one, resistant to insulin, and two, it doesn't really know how to use your fat anymore because it's not used to it. So when you start alternate day fasting, you're going to have to go through a period of transition, teaching your body how to use your fat stores, and it's going to complain. Those first fasts are going to be hard. I remember how hard a 16-hour fast was for me back in the day when I first started fasting. I remember I would literally sit there 15 minutes before my meal, 30 minutes before my meal, and I would just sit there and wait. And I'd be so ready to eat. And right when that 16 hours hit, I would eat. So it has not always been this easy for me. This is as a result of me practicing fasting for 2 years and for my alternate day fasting, which has strengthened my fasting muscle like nothing else. Number two is ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. And I guess I would kind of wrap this in with number three, which is leptin, and leptin is your satiety hormone. Now, there are multiple of these hormones. There's not just one, but these are kind of the main ones that are mostly responsible for these aspects. So ghrelin is what tells your body that you're hungry, and then leptin is what tells your body that you're full. Your body produces these hormones to control how much you're eating. And basically what happens over time, especially with leptin, is that when we're always eating, we're always getting high levels of insulin, then we're getting full, and that's signaling leptin. And we end up getting leptin resistance, just like we get insulin resistance. And there's not as much science behind this, at least that I've found. A lot of people want to talk more about insulin, but one thing that I really found about alternate day fasting is I feel like it's rebalanced my hunger and satiety hormones because I can feel the hunger a lot more, and I also feel the fullness a lot more than I ever have. So that's one of the things that I believe in so much about alternate day fasting, and one thing that I love about it, and I think that makes it so sustainable, is this feels like it's a true change in my body, and in such a short amount of time too. It's pretty amazing. I just wanted to talk about this because I have learned that it's okay to eat things that people are going to say aren't good for you. I think it's important to try to nourish your body as much as possible. And so you do want to kind of base your meals around something nutritious, I think. But it's okay. You should eat as you feel is right for you. If you start alternate day fasting and start eating some other way that's not what you're used to and is not something you enjoy, you're not going to stick with it. You need to eat as you want on your eat days. And over time, probably like me, or maybe not, you'll kind of naturally start to crave healthier things. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. I mean, my number one thing with alternate day fasting is don't restrict yourself. So I weigh every single day on camera for y'all. And the reason why I do that is because weight has been a very sensitive topic for me my whole life. I've always been overweight. As a kid, I would dread the day that we had to do, I can't even remember what it was called, but we had to do this like statewide test where we went and weighed and we would have to run. It was like a fitness test. I dreaded those days. And so I know that a lot of people have emotional feelings and get upset about the number on the scale, and they don't want to look at it. And, you need to do what's best for you. If putting away that scale is what helps you, then by all means, do that. But I think it's important to note that the scale is a tool, and that's something that I've really learned throughout this process. I think it maybe looks easy because I've just been doing it since the beginning. But I was always really adamant about sharing that because I wanted to be able to go back and see the change, because I saw my weights going up and down with alternate day fasting, and I was like, I gotta start tracking this because otherwise it's just gonna totally throw me off. To me, I just can't pick a random day to weigh because it feels so arbitrary, and having my daily weights, it really helps me kind of ground myself and know exactly where I'm at. And the scale is literally just a tool for me. I do not have a goal weight. I am not worried about getting to some very specific weight or really that concerned with the number on the scale at all. It's more just a measurement of my progress. And I did care about getting my weight into my healthy weight range, which is 108 pounds to 145 pounds. And today I weighed 145.2 pounds with my camera, so that was pretty awesome. It's interesting because I actually don't get that hungry on my fast days anymore. Sometimes every day is different, but if I do get really hungry, number one thing is water. Have I been drinking enough water? If I'm behind on my water, then usually that means that I'm actually thirsty and I'm not hungry. If that doesn't work and I'm feeling lightheaded or just feeling kind of off, I will have a little bit of sea salt, and that helps to replenish your electrolytes, and that almost always works. And then mainly I would say I just try to keep myself distracted. If you drink some water and go do something, by the time you're done with whatever task it is, chances are you're not hungry anymore, and it's nice. Then it just makes your fast easy. Instead of worrying about food, you got to get something done. I would say that I eat anywhere from, could be anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 calories per day. I don't think there's a lot of days that I'm under 2,500 calories because I've never found that really hard to eat that much. It's possible that now that I'm eating some more nutritious foods, my calories might be a little bit lower, but I don't count at all. And I would really strongly suggest that if you are alternate day fasting, that you don't count your calories unless you're hitting a stall and you think maybe you're not eating enough. That's basically the only time that I would advise people count calories. I didn't expect this to come out of alternate day fasting, but I do feel like I have improved my relationship so much with food. I don't think it's 100%. I don't think I'm totally there yet. I'm not saying that, do exactly what I'm doing and you'll be good. Everybody is different and everybody has a different experience. But I have become more in control with food, and I feel like food is just food, and it's going to be there tomorrow. It's going to be there the next day. I think Kimberly posted a photo that said something like this before, and it's really stuck with me because I've been able to separate food from emotions, and I really enjoy that. And I think I've also kind of broken my addiction to sugary, carby foods because I just don't crave them near as much as I did before, and I find myself craving more real foods, and it's just surprising. It's not something that I would have expected, and it's doubly awesome to have people who are in my fasting group sharing that they're experiencing some of these same things. And so it's cool to know that this is because of fasting, and it's not just my experience. This is something that you can experience too. It has completely changed my life. I knew that it had a chance to work, and I had a lot of hope, but I didn't know that it would affect me this much. I didn't know that it would have the power to change my relationship with food, to change how full I feel from meals, and I'm just not obsessed with food anymore. And that's amazing. I mean, even on my eat days, like today, I haven't even had that much to eat. I've had a ton of time where I haven't been worrying about food, and it's just such an amazing feeling to feel like I can get my life back and get it back in a way that I never thought was possible, because I've been trying for 7 years to lose weight. I obviously haven't given up, but at the same time, like there didn't seem to be a lot of hope that I was ever gonna really make it. I just thought I'm overweight, I'm gonna be overweight my whole life, and that's just kind of how it is. But I finally feel like I'm gonna get there, and I know I will, and I'm just so grateful, like more than anything. When I look back at the last 4 months, I look back and think that alternate day fasting is one of the best decisions that I have ever made. And I've never Like, it just made me so happy. And sharing this with you guys and hearing your experiences has just been absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful, and I hope it wasn't just like a regurgitation of my vlogs. I tried to put things that I thought were useful, that I learned, that I thought were the most important things in my journey. And I hope this video is helpful for you in deciding and whether or not alternate day fasting might be a good choice for you. Definitely, if you're thinking about it, I would recommend checking out vlogs. Check out my vlogs. Check out Rachel Sharp's vlogs. There's also Mom Fasting. I love her videos. Take care, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next vlog.